This is the Personal Branding Success in 10 Minutes podcast. I am your host, Caitlin Zhang.
And I am your host, Danielle Bardowell. What is a key message?
A key message for a personal brand is an important part of your brand positioning. It helps communicate the core points that all of your communications should be centering on. Oftentimes, it's just one main point and it has to be very memorable. One thing that sometimes people make the mistake is only addressing how it is what they're offering, but not really answering how it solves the customer's problem. So always think about the target audience and what's in it for them. So your key message needs to answer that. An example that I think of is election campaigns for politicians. They often have one core key message. So for example, their core message might be, improve the environment, climate change. That's a very clear messaging. That's a platform they're putting their elections on. Maybe their key messaging is reduce taxes, or improve education. Whatever it is, that's their key message, and always come back to that point. And the key message should also take in a form of a one-liner pitch.
Yes, it sounds to me like the key message should sort of embody how your company or your brand can add value to your audience or your target audience.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a very clear way of identifying what values you add.
Can you tell me more about the one-liner pitch?
Yeah, so the one-liner pitch is something that I came up with. It's one sentence that's used as a pitch when you go to a networking event. People ask you, what do you do? Or what's your job? This is something you can use that's a little bit beyond the answer of just this, I am a marketing professional, or I am a doctor, I'm a teacher. It goes on a little bit more to really identify the value that you add to others so that you'll be more memorable. The format goes like this. I am, insert your name, and I help people or businesses insert your target audience with the problem that they have to achieve something. So you could be to increase something or to grow something or to achieve XYZ, something like that. So using this format, you're adding in who is your core audience, what is the problem that you're helping them solve, and what's the end result. Let me give you two examples. Okay. The first example is, I am, insert name. I am a digital marketing expert who helps app development businesses with their email marketing campaigns so that they can increase sales. So it's very clear that this person is a digital marketing expert. Their target audience that they work with are app development companies, so different apps. What do? They help them with email marketing, and the end result is to increase sales. So this one sentence hits on all the key elements of what this person's personal brand is. Another example, I am, insert name. I am a traveling yoga instructor running group classes for city workers in London to reduce stress and improve focus. So how is this person different from other yoga instructors? This person is traveling, so they go to businesses and they're not teaching a class on YouTube. They're not teaching a class in the local gym. They move around. The target audience are business people who are working in high pressure jobs. And the end result is that they're helping them reduce stress and improve focus, which is something city workers are often really in desperate need of. So this is a person that immediately when I think about this person, I can think of, hey, did you know I have a friend who works in so-and-so business in the city and they might benefit from your services. So immediately I can take this person's pitch and tell my friends about him or her who's a yoga instructor because it's clear what they do. Yeah, so these are kind of two examples that I have.
Have you enjoyed building your personal brand with us? We would really appreciate it if you could leave us a review with your podcast provider.
That's right, Danielle. Positive reviews help us build our brand so we can keep creating quality content for everyone.
I can already imagine what your one-liner pitch would be, as in, I'm Caitlin Zhang, I'm a personal branding consultant. I help venture capitalists and tech brands show their best versions of themselves. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's a really easy way to communicate your brand. So for my target audience, we'll be looking at business professionals, entrepreneurs. And one of the specific things that we do is helping people get better job opportunities through their personal branding, and also for startups and to raise investment. And that's something we have done and seen consistently is if you build your personal brand, it will be much easier to attract investments. Yeah, this can take in the form of a one-liner pitch. The goal is not to be talking nonstop when someone asks you, what do you do? The goal is to have a simple sentence that's interesting, that evokes curiosity, and it's memorable, so that the person you're speaking to is interested to ask you more questions. That's the goal of a one-liner pitch.
what can I do? Like, what should I do if my job is hard to explain, though?
If you have a job or you have a service that you do that's really niche and most people will not understand what you do and it's really hard to explain, my thoughts are think about how you would explain your job to a 9-year-old. How would you explain it to your kid or someone else's kid what you do? And use that kind of simple language to communicate who do you work with, what kind of businesses, what kind of people you work with, and how you give them help, how you add value to them. So I don't know if many people know this, but the entire UK government website is actually written so that a 9-year-old's vocabulary and English can understand every single thing the government is saying.
That's interesting.
So your pitch shouldn't be complicated. You shouldn't be using really big words that nobody gets because they will not ask you what it means. People will be embarrassed. So try to keep, whoever you are, try to keep your pitch to be simple and easy.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Because if a 9-year-old can understand it, then of course a grown adult should be able to understand.
For sure, yeah. And it'll be easy for them to tell your pitch to someone else because they'll use easier language.
Okay, so why is a key message so important to personal branding?
A key message is important to your personal brand because it helps you communicate consistently with your target audience. You need repetition for people to remember. And secondly, other people can easily repeat your key message to others. Then they become your brand ambassadors and you're spreading through the word of mouth.
Okay, that makes sense. What's your process for crafting a key message?
I would start with the one-liner pitch using that model to create one sentence. You can include things like an interesting job title if you have one. Be clear about who your core audiences are. If you can, communicate your differentiators from your competitors, how you're different from everyone else that holds that same job title. And of course, remembering how does the other person benefit from it? It's always about adding value to the other person. Once you've done that, look at your one-liner pitch and see if you can edit and simplify it so that it's memorable and it's easy and clear to communicate. The most memorable brands only do a few things very, very well. So you can't be known for doing many things well. You have to pick and choose which are your really key things you want to say that you do.
Okay.
The main takeaways for today are, number one, always center back your communication to your core message or your key message. Number two, a simple one-liner pitch is an excellent way to communicate your key message. Takeaway number three, the most memorable brands only do a few things very well, so edit down and simplify. The actionable next step is to work on your one-liner pitch. The format will be in the notes section, so you can use that as a basis to write your one-liner pitch. And try it out at the next networking event you go to. This episode is produced by Oval Branding, a London-based award-winning branding agency that serves corporate clients and personal clients around the world. Visit ovalbranding.com to contact us about your next marketing project. I am Caitlin Zhang. Thank you for listening.